All right, JHK here for the AllStar, and join me right now is middleweight prospect Joseph Holmes. Joseph, thank you so much for the time. How you feeling?
I'm great, man. Just finished with training. Thank you for your time.
What did you do today for training?
This morning we did some MMA, 10 a.m. at SFS MMA in Dallas, Texas. And then tonight we did some MMA as well, but it was more striking MMA, and then we did some jiu-jitsu. I'm
Sounds
kind of
good.
beat up. I
No,
got bruises and everything all over me.
I can't see anything, man. It's all good.
Gotcha.
All right, now, Ugly Man. I want to know where the origins of this name came from. It's very peculiar.
Yeah, Ugly Man is kind of just how, excuse me and a group of my friends when I was in college. I went to Arkansas Tech University, so it's just how me and my group of friends were kind of expressing ourselves at the time. There was kind of just like a thing where you would see your friend, and then they might be wearing something super nice, but you'll just start firing up their outfit, like those shoes are wearing some boats on your feet, or whatever, and it was that person's job, to kind of like be like, no, like stand up for themselves, and be confident about themselves. And that was just like a thing that all me and my friends did at the time. So we created a group called Ugly Man Gang.
Mhm.
And it was just Ugly Man before your name. And then if you were a girl, it was like Ugly Girl and then their name, obviously. And that's how mine came about. Most people call me Joe. So
All right, so it's not just name, it's a movement.
it could be maybe one day that wasn't the case. But if I inspire anyone, I'm happy to.
Yeah, you're definitely in a position to inspire people. Now, your amateur career, man, you were pretty much untouched. You know what I mean? You had a couple hard fights. What were some of the most trying times throughout your amateur career?
Just kind of, you mean like my hardest fights?
Yeah, even like camps or just adversity all around.
Well, at one point I was making 170 welterweight. And if anybody listening knows how to cut weight, you know how difficult that would be for a 6'4" guy my size. So at that time, that was a chance for me to really learn, the discipline that this sport requires in order to be successful. I definitely went through a lot, especially as an amateur. I quit my jobs like after my second fight. And decided to take this completely serious. And so there was a lot of times where I was flat broke. You know what I mean? I had a kid. I was just living off of sponsors and selling T-shirts and so there's not a lot of times where you have a lot of money, but definitely being where I am now, I can look back and be proud of what I've done so far to get to where I am.
Definitely, because you are right on the cusp of getting signed by the major promotions. So yeah, you did go through a lot and you're in a good spot now. But when you first transitioned over to becoming a pro, you made your debut. You're on the wrong side of a unanimous decision, after going undefeated and then having to go through that, having to go through a tough situation like that. What did you learn the most from that debut loss?
I guess I learned you only got one shot, and you can't waste your shot being worried about what could happen. And you really got to get in there and make something happen, regardless the risk, because without risk, there's no reward. So I definitely learned that, as well as the judges are not your friend. That guy didn't hurt me one time during that fight, and I almost slept him in the third, and you know it was still a unanimous decision his way. But it is what it is.
For sure. And I see that you double and dab in Muay Thai. How important is it for a fighter coming up to practice other, aspects or just take fights in like boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing?
Well, definitely coming up, all the when before you're making a career out of this, and you're just an amateur on your way up. You know, it's not about getting these flashy, stuff and doing everything spectacular. It's about just getting time in the cage and experience. And as long as you're just going in there and doing your absolute best as an amateur coming up, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You just need time. You need experience. You need fights. You need minutes in the cage in the octagon.
All right. Now, your last fight, Contender Series, you got the finish, but you didn't get the contract. Just going through the process of, Las Vegas, the UFC Apex, how's that experience furthered you as a fighter?
Um, that was amazing. Going to the Apex was amazing, and seeing how UFC runs things, and they have like the hotel completely booked out. There's not like other people in the hotel that aren't fighting or aren't part of the event. They definitely show you like how much they care. Like they're sending you to all of these, different medical places to make sure you're healthy, and way more than I've ever been tested by any other organization in the past. And even after, I just had like a pretty gnarly bruise after my last fight. It wasn't too bad, but it was a pretty nasty bruise for about a week. And they were calling me and checking on me about my arm, and just let us know anything we need to do, to help you get healthy and stuff like that. So they definitely taught me, like, although they are the biggest organization in the world and everybody wants to be there, they still care about their athletes. So that's definitely a place I need and want to be.
Fury FC 53 is coming up. It's a little bit over a month since your last fight. So basically, do you even have a training camp? How do you kind of manage that?
I just immediately after I was healed, my arm was totally healthy. So about a week after my fight, I started back training 100%. Again, I just got out of training now. I
Mhm.
guess you can't see, but whatever. I got some bruises on me, and I've been trying to get some rounds in. I'm going to Kansas City next week for the whole week to
Mhm.
be with my other coach, Kraus, and the team at Glory over there. So just squeezing in, just the things I need to fine tune. I already know how to fight. I've already been getting my work, and I've been super active. And so my camp is all of my fights. All of my fights and all of the camps that I've had up until this point. Since I haven't necessarily had a break, it's all been just one big camp for this moment coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, definitely. You've been extremely active this year, and your opponent coming up, Jhonoven Pati. What do you know about him? What can you tell us?
But he's really skilled. He has uh, I, I mean, he has a good amount of experience. I would say more than I do. He has,
Mhm.
I would say, double my professional experience. Um, but he's just kind of like a flashy striker. He's been recently getting more into jujitsu, but I mean, I've trained with him off, when I was an amateur, a good amount of time, and he's an example of a professional. I'm really happy to be fighting him. He's extremely professional, and yeah, this is like just the right test I need, I guess. He's coming off a loss, but he still has a lot of experience. So, I mean, I'd prefer to be fighting someone who's coming off a win, because I'm off of a bunch of wins in a row.
Yeah.
But whatever I got to do to get my contract, it is what it is. you know,
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. You don't pick the fights, you just perform. That's
yeah,
that's what
just
you gotta
show
look
up
at it
for
as.
him. Yep.
Exactly. And is this the first time you're fighting somebody that you trained with in the past?
No, I fought that Muay Thai fight I had on a really short notice against someone I knew,
Mhm.
somebody I'd trained with before. I mean, it was cool. It wasn't really much different. It was kind of like, I guess I had less fear, of getting hurt. So I kind of could like take a little bit more chances, I guess.
With this fight, it's very close to your last fight. What type of performance do you feel you need to earn that contract in front of Dana White again?
I just honestly need to just do what I just did. I just need to go in there, stay composed, keep myself safe, and just eliminate this guy the way I've been doing, since I became professional. I don't need to really act like I'm anything else or try and become anything else, in my opinion. And Dana said himself as well, just go in there and get another win, and you got yourself a contract. So I'm just gonna do what I already do. And this guy obviously has a lot more to lose than I do.
Mhm.
So just keep myself safe and kill his gas tank and choke his neck. And if he doesn't want to get his neck choked, I'll just smash his face.
All right, sounds like a beautiful plan. Now, you're now with this fight, it'll be in Denver, Colorado, right? And in Colorado, the commission out there, they recently adopted open scoring for MMA fights, but it's not. I believe it starts next year, so it won't affect this event. I just wanted to get your take on open scoring. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you think the implications will be in during the fight?
Is that when they tell you what they scored you after each round?
Exactly.
I would love that. I feel like it would help fights be more interesting.
Mhm.
I think it would help with the corners as well, like help coaches in the corners give more precise tips and advice going into the next round. I think I think that'd be amazing. I would love to know my score. I feel like I had a fight where I did know my score after each round. I feel like I did. I can't remember with who, but I would love that.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. And one last thing, this is a question that is open ended. You could answer any way you want. What keeps you up at night?
um, well, most times I'm up at night if I'm not spending time with my girl or my family, my son or cat. I'm probably up streaming on my Facebook gaming channel. You can find that at Ugly Man Joe Gaming. I'm also probably just reading some of James Krause's tips on betting on MMA fights. They're constantly sending different tips and people to bet on in our group message. So
Mhm.
if you're somebody that likes to bet on fights, I would reach out to James Krause and get his knowledge because he's one of the best in the business. Either that or, reaching out to my coach at SFS MMA in Dallas, Texas. And then, I'm also with the number one management team in the entire planet, Iridium Sports Management Agency. So I have a lot of things that are keeping my phone ringing at all hours of the day and night, man. And then as well as doing an interview with you right now in the late evening. Brother, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. And I appreciate you. November 14th, Fury FC 53, Denver, Colorado. Get in there, get out, get the contract. That's the goal,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Let's
That's
do
the
it.
goal.